I seriously had to think before making this video because I did not enjoy Black Mirror season 1. But now that I've watched through season 2, I can say my thoughts on it have changed drastically. Season 2 was such an improvement compared to season 1. Be it the concepts they tackle, the writing, even the acting is better. I think it's pretty good. So what I'm going to do in this video is I'm going to go through the 3 episodes of season 2 along with the 2014 special White Christmas. I've lumped these together because this is basically the end of the British run of Black Mirror before it moved to Netflix, and it felt like the special would go along with the season 2 episodes. So with that, let's just jump right into the first episode.
They ask you how you are, you just have to say that you're fine when you're not really fine, but you just can't get into it because they would never understand.
So this episode's called Be Right Back. Now, this woman and her boyfriend have moved into their new home in the country, but one night the boyfriend is killed while returning a van. Now, the girlfriend discovers that she's pregnant, and after a little bit of convincing, she tries a service that someone recommended to her. It scrolls through all of her dead boyfriend's social media posts and online messaging to create an AI version that you can talk to, like an AI generated character. And she interacts with this AI here and there. She messages it, gives it more access to footage and that, so it can do video calls, it can talk during walks, and she completely cuts off anyone who tries to reach out. As it progresses, the AI gives her an option to try out an experimental feature, which is an Android version of it. So it's getting a bit more dystopian, but it goes a very different way to what you would expect. She isn't very satisfied with this physical android, and it comes to a boil when she takes him to a cliff that she went to earlier in the episode and tells it to jump off, but it doesn't listen. Right after that, it's left to speculate, what did she do with the android? And it jumps ahead a few years. We see her daughter being raised, and we see that the android is now living in the attic. Now it's on her daughter's birthday, and she brings a slice of cake to the android, and they're only allowed to visit the android on weekends. And that's how the episode ends. You start off thinking, oh, okay, the robot's just going to take over her life, and then it's going to be evil and kill her, but it doesn't. In the end, it's actually her who treats the robot like crap and locks him away. And the poor guy didn't do anything. He was just doing his job. But yeah, no, it's a very good episode. The acting's quite good, and it captures that uncanny feeling quite well, especially now with how common AI is and how prevalent it's become. It's a very good episode, and if I had to give it a rating, I'd give it a 7 out of 10. Great start to the season. Episode 2 is White Bear. This one is really good. So this woman wakes up in a house and she can't remember anything about her life. But when she goes outside, she notices everyone in the windows of the houses and passerbys are recording her with their phones. And she starts getting chased by this masked man with a weird symbol on his mask. She meets someone else who she assumes can help her, and the woman offers to help, and she lies to her. She says, oh, these people are watching you, being brainwashed by the signal, and the hunters are just violent people who have taken advantage of it. And they decide to go to this facility to try and destroy the signal transmitter that supposedly caused this apocalypse. They get to the facility, and the hunters break in and attack them, but the woman that's been helping our main character, she's pretty much useless. The main character is able to get a shotgun from the hunter and shoots at him. However, it only shoots confetti. And we're now shown that the entire day, everything she just went through was all staged. Performance done by actors. Everyone was an actor, even the woman that helped her. And to give us the context, we find out our main character's name is Victoria Scalame. She was the accomplice to a child murderer who took his own life in prison. And she was the one who filmed him kill a 6-year-old child. Yeah, throughout the start of it, you start to wonder, okay, why are they hunting her? Oh, it's because of the apocalypse, and then you feel bad for her. And then at the end here, once it gets the reveal, you're like, oh, she deserves it. And they basically turned her punishment into like a form of entertainment. Every day her memory's wiped, and this hunting scenario is reenacted to entertain the public. She was sentenced to this park for 100 years and it will repeat indefinitely. So no matter what, she'll never be free. And she kind of deserves it. It's not bad. It also gives into context why the people are filming, because it's part of her punishment. She filmed the child being killed, so she's not getting filmed. The symbol on the hunter's mask was the identifying tattoo on her boyfriend that was the killer. And it's a very good episode. I'd give it a solid 8 out of 10. I would really recommend watching this one. Bye bye. Then we have episode 3, the Waldo Moment. This one's a bit more unique. So we see this comedian and he's controlling an animated bear avatar named Waldo on his show. Basically, they invite over politicians and he'll ask them crude questions to throw them off. But it starts to escalate once he interviews a conservative running for office. He's entered for a by-election, the cartoon bear, not him, and he starts to get involved in the politics world. It goes a bit awry. The comedian himself doesn't want to continue politics, but his producer pushes him to do it. And the bear is very popular. He says inflammatory things. People agree with him. They're even approached by the Americans to use his likeness for campaigning and that sort of thing. And the appeal of having like this faceless creature to vote for instead of some politician that's just lying, people like it. Right at the end, the main comedian doesn't want to do it anymore, and he gets attacked by a mob after he leaves and tries to attack the visage of Waldo that his producer's now taking control of. Right at the end, we see that conservative politician, who he's been harassing throughout the episode, won the election, and Waldo, the bear, came second. We jump ahead to what I can only presume is a few years, because now the comedian guy's homeless, and the world is starting to fall apart. We see on a news prompter that Waldo's face is everywhere, across the world, and we can only presume that he's basically taken over the world. I feel like that was a bit goofy and it shouldn't have continued to show that, but it still works quite well. And yeah, that's it. That's how the episode ends. The main character throws a bottle at Waldo on the screen, gets arrested by basically the Gestapo. And you wonder now, is the producer the one running the world? Is it just that every country's used that bear to take over in their own way? It's left a bit ambiguous and it's not too bad. I'd give it probably a 6 out of 10. 6 or a 7. Hard to say. Bit of a low point to end this season, but this season was miles better than season 1.
Merry Christmas.
But of course, let's talk about the special. Now, this is a much longer episode. It's an hour and 10 minutes. And it's called White Christmas. It starts off pretty calm. It's just in a cabin where these two guys are talking about their past. We meet Matt. Now, Matt ran a group on the dark web that watched each other sleep with women through their eye implants. You'll learn that these eye implants, ZIs, are in every person. It's a mandatory implant. It's replaced phones and everything throughout the world. Now, this group would watch other people seduce women and record it and just enjoy it in a way, But one day, a mentally ill woman kills one of the people doing this recording in a murder-suicide. She's nuts, and she also has no idea that she's been recorded, but you can tell that her mental breakdowns comes down to the eye implant, which we will play into more throughout this entire special. And the main guy, Matt, he just doesn't report the murder. He burns all his equipment and shuts down the group. We then cut to what he used to do before he did this, and he would train cookies. Now, in this universe, cookies are clones of people that are stored into this egg-shaped thing to be people's personal assistants. We play a lot with the morality of it, because he ends up having to basically torture the clone of a woman that he's providing the service to until it complies and agrees to work as an assistant, which is something the other guy in the cabin calls slavery. But that's basically how it is. That was his previous job. Then we cut to Joe. Joe is the other man in the cabin, and his wife blocked him with the ZRs after an argument because she wanted to get an abortion for a baby that she was pregnant with. When you're blocked, you can't see the person that's blocked you, and they can't see you. You can't interact with them, nothing. You can't call them, message them, nothing. It's very isolationist. And she leaves. Yeah, he thinks that she'd just block him for a day, but she just ups and leaves. And she goes to her father's house. Now, Joe finds the father's house because he knows where the father lives, and the father hasn't blocked him. But he also discovers that she kept the child. She didn't abort it. And he spies on them. He also can't see the child because he's been blocked from it. Eventually, there's some sort of terrorist attack or accident, and Beth, the wife, dies. So he gets unblocked, and he's now able to see the wife and the child. However, goes there and finds out that that's not his child. The child's Chinese, and he remembers back that she was very close to another Chinese guy. So not only did she block him and up and disappear for no real good reason, but she also cheated on him and got pregnant with another guy. It's pretty fucked up. He freaks out over this and confronts her father and kills him. He leaves the place and runs home, and we find out later on that the daughter, this child, didn't know what to do. She was left all alone in the house, and she tried to wander out to find help, eventually freezing to death. So his actions led to the death of this child. As he makes this confession, Matt reveals to him that they're actually not in the real world. They're both in a cookie. And Joe has now confessed to his crime, something they needed. The police used Matt because he's quite good at convincing people, especially when it came to the clones. And Matt went into the cookie to convince the clone to confess, because the clone has the memories of the real person. The cops go, the real guy is locked in a cell, and they tell him, you know what, we don't even need your confession because we got it from your clone. So you're going to jail. And that's basically it for his story, the real version. Matt, on the other hand, is still going to be punished for this. He did this in order to be released without going to prison, especially for the running the dark web group and not reporting the murder. His punishment, however, is to be registered as a dangerous person, basically a sex offender, and he's blocked by everybody for life. We see him go outside and he can't see anyone's faces, you know, all these blurs. And to everyone else, he's just this red blur, so he can't really interact or do anything. But I feel like he wasn't as distressed as I would have been. Right at the end there, he basically just accepted it and left. I guess it can't be that bad, at least he's free, you know? Unlike the clone. Now, I don't see why they felt the need to punish the clone instead of just delete it. But one of the cops puts the clone's timer within the cookie to run at 1,000 years per minute forever. And they agree to let him out after Christmas, because this is taking place during Christmas. And it's still fucked up. The clone actually didn't do anything. He's just not real, so you should have just deleted him, not let him be tortured for what is basically forever. It basically works out to 1.4 million years that clone is going to live inside that cookie just over the span of a day. That's insane. It's the poor clone. Punish the real guy, yes, but not punish the clone. But yeah, this episode's excellent. It brings up a lot of world-building concepts, which I would have loved to see used in other episodes, and maybe it is, for all I know. But I love it. It's an excellent episode, and I'd give it an 8 out of 10 easily. And that's my review of Season 2 of Black Mirror. I will be continuing with Season 3, of course. But yeah, it was way better than I expected it to be, and now that we're moving into the Netflix era, I'm wondering if it'll keep this up or if it'll fall back to the problems Season 1 had. If you enjoyed this, please let me know. Leave a like, leave a comment. Also, let me know if there's anything you want me to review next. I do have my next few videos planned out, but I'm always interested in trying out new things and seeing what else I can review. As always, I'll see you all in the next one. Bye bye.